Welcome back to Jester's Garage. Hey, I've made it to episode 2. I haven't completely lost interest yet and went squirrel shiny object. So that's good. That must mean I like doing this. I hope you like it. Anyway, this week I decided I needed to work on my pickup truck a little bit. I've had an issue with this truck the entire time I've owned it, after it started getting some miles on it. For anyone who's familiar with the 4-liter V6 Ranger and Explorer motors, will ultimately know about the thermostat housings. And the problem with them is they seem to spring a leak at the mold seams where the plastic is injection molded. And I have put, well, if you count this most recent engine that I just put in last year at a friend of mine's house, me and a buddy worked on it. It'll be the third thermostat housing? Yeah, 3. Granted, the truck has almost 400,000 miles on it, but I would think this thing should last a little longer. I replaced 2 of them in pretty quick succession. So today, I think we're going to try to discuss the miracle cure. Well, at least I hope it's a miracle cure. I've heard a lot of things about these aluminum thermostat housings, and I picked one up and figured I'd give it a try. One thing I already like is it has screw-in sensors here. The originals have a clip that goes in to the sides, holds it in, and you'll lose those clips every time. So have spares. But this one doesn't have them. And we've got our O-ring. We've got everything we need. So is this the miracle cure? I'm going to find out. So thanks for sticking with me, and let's go work on something. So I've got you set up under the hood of my Ranger, and for those who are not quite familiar with these trucks, the intake goes over the thermostat housing. Thermostat housing is down here. It's kind of a bear to get to. You almost have to take the throttle body off. At least I find that to be a little easier. And looking down here, way down here, you can't see. I can see that it has some coolant residue still laying in it, so it's still leaking. But I need to start taking this thing apart and get to this thermostat housing. So we'll get on that. All right, so I grabbed a few tools here, and let's start taking her apart. Pine needles, the bane of my existence. And wow, something's been living in my airbox. That's cool. What is this? 9? No. 8? Ish. Throw the throttle body out of the way, and now we can get to the thermostat housing much easier here. Let me see if I can switch you sides or something. That's probably a little better. So here's the thermostat housing. It's leaking. No bones about that. I have to figure out how in the heck to get that hose clamp off, because it looks like it was put on before the intake was put on. That's fun. Let's see if I can get to it. Wow, okay. That's unusual. Oh, I just cracked it loose. I can't believe it. Wow, what a pain. And now I can't get a grip on it again. What a pain. Luckily, I can get like a quarter turn on it before it slips off. I think I can push it around back now. Yeah, there we go. What a terrible spot for a hose clamp. Can I just spin this all the way around? Yes, I can, and that's what's going to happen. Ouch. Ideally, this clamp needs to be on the other way. It needs to be here, but flipped. But it is what it is for now. It also needs to be significantly shorter. Do any of the sockets I have out of here fit? Oh, they do. Alrighty then. Come on, why are you stuck? There we go. Hard spot. Alright. That's out of the way enough. How much coolant do I have in this thing? Looking kind of low. Yeah, looking kind of low. Also, my reservoir seems to be clogged with sediment. We'll blow that out. So are we full of coolant? Let's find out. There's only one way to figure that out. I got a feeling there's a little. Oh, there's none. Look at that. No coolant coming out of that. Nothing in that hose. That's how much coolant this thing leaks. And I'm going to flip this while I'm thinking about it. I need to probably cut that too. Anyway, here's our thermostat housing. Let me zoom you in there. There we are. This is going to suck to take apart. There's a bunch of coolant hoses, clamps and hoses here. One of them goes right here. And that looks like I'm going to have a bear of a time getting it apart too, because it's clamped. I might be able to take it from here, which you can't see. There's a clamp right here. Might be able to get it from there. But I have to get these sensors out that you can't quite see right now. Let's see if I can take you in there. These two sensors have to come out. Black connector, gray connector. These little clips right on my fingertip there are what I have to pull out and not lose. Well, I could probably afford to lose them now since I have my replacement that doesn't use those. But let's struggle along with it anyway, right? Handy dandy pick. Don't want to forget my magnet. Got it. Talk about lucky. Let's try to get that other one. You know, I hate OEM hose clamps, but I think in this situation, I like them. And I also realized I was originally tightening this clamp like a bonehead. Lefty loosey, righty tighty, dummy. Alright, are we going to go up yet? Or at least let me move you? Yes. Alright, we moved it. Let's get that second clip out. If at first you don't succeed, get pissed off and break it. I can't see. You're probably saying the same thing. All right. Ow. Sorry, I keep hitting that. Instead of my hook, I have to use my 90. I think. And try not to hit my head on the camera mount this time. Aha, yes. Yes, that works. That works well. Got it. All right. Well, the next step is, I believe I have to remove this hose. All right. One thing that makes this easier is removing the lid off of the thermostat housing, and it is not an 8mm. Is it a 10? It's a 10! Okay, I have a 10 out here. Where has it gone? There it be. 1/4 inch. Now these are not the factory bolts. These are the Dorman. That was fairly tight, but they have a crush washer, so you can't over tighten them. Or at least it should. The last one I had did. Probably going to need my 10 wrench to go around the back side. Yeah, trying to fight this thermostat housing in here assembled is a futile effort. After you've done this about, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, you work out the tricks. Although it's been a minute, so I'm probably going to struggle. And there's the top, covered in antifreeze. Look at that, you can see, let me zoom you in. I don't know if you can tell, but there's antifreeze sitting around the inside of the little pores there, I guess you could say, the casting sinks. That's cute. Oh, there's our other bolt, not back here. I'm blind. All right. Now the coolant temp sensors on this thing are typically a bear, and you can't unplug them and get them out. You have to take them out with the plug. I figured that out the first time. You have to lay them over, I guess you could say. Let's try to do that. If I can get my hand in there. You don't have much space under the throttle body. Oh yeah, I used right stuff when I put these in, and they still leak. Come on. Oh, you're getting there. I can see you. Here we go. All right. So the first one just lays right over, comes right out. Second one just lays over a little harder of an angle, and here we are. All right, we're gonna unplug these. Was that even plugged in? Not entirely too sure. Okay, that is out of the way. I need to try to get on this clamp a little more. Oh yeah, there is 3 bolts. I am dumb. You can tell how long it's been since I've had to mess with this. Come here, you. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. Slightly. Again, I apologize for the half in the shade, half in the sun shot. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm working on this out in the driveway. But why is your channel called Jester's Garage? I don't know. It seemed like a good idea. Okay, that's spun around. All right, what size are those? Are they 8s? They are 8s. We'll just take that out. Let's try to get that bottom hose clamp. Oh, and alas, I can't because it doesn't fit. Sweet. How am I going to get that out of there? No, I can't get to that either. Maybe. Nope, that's not going to cut it. Oh boy. Man. But my only option is to try to continue getting this thermostat housing out and then trying to manipulate it in a way that I can loosen that clamp. Okay. That is a big fat negative. There's a 2-alarm fire in my back already. That's swell. Shucks. Oh, I think I've got it. Maybe. I'm trying to get the lower clamp. Maybe might be able to get a turn on that. Loosen it up at the water pump. Oh, and I did. Yes. Not without a struggle. All right, that's loose. Okay, so now let's reposition you a little bit. Now you're out of my way a little bit. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. It's giving me a wee bit more of a struggle than I remember. I don't feel like I got that bolt all the way out yet. There we go. Threaded itself back in just a touch. Okay. Now I can spin this clamp around. Get it up off of there. Come on. Hitting the other clamp. There we go. All right. Ow. Oh yeah, there's a little coolant coming out. Must have been just a touch sitting in the bottom of there. But now I can get to that clamp. Sweet. Okay. Oh no! My bottom clamp just fell off. That's cool. Got my bolt out of there. And there's your thermostat housing out in real time. Set that aside. I have to try to find that hose clamp. I am going to need it. I see it. Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me wipe my hands off real quick. Look at all that oil and coolant back in there. That's sweet. She's leaking something awful. Something awful. How in the world is it leaking that much oil into the valve or the valley? That is insane. Look at all that. Yeah, that's a good ½ inch. Gross. The only culprit is the timing tensioner, I think. God, what else would be leaking? I don't know if you can see it. The timing tensioner is that guy right there. Right there. Now, it's oily, but not that bad. I'm going to try to clean some of this oil out, and we'll be back in a minute. Well, I couldn't determine the source of the oil leak, and since I can't determine the source of the oil leak, I can't fix the oil leak. Since I can't fix the oil leak, I'm just going to forget about the oil leak. It'll be alright. I watch how much oil's in this thing anyway. But what I am going to do is get the mating gasket surface for the thermostat housing cleaned up. There's a little bit of old RTV left on there. And we will attempt to put the new one on, the aluminum one. So I'll work on that and be right back. Now I want to make sure none of these threads for these thermostat housing bolts are hurt. So I'm going to just test thread them with my fingers. Those all seem fine. So next step, let's play with the thermostat housing. Alright, so on the bench here, I have the two thermostat housings, the original OEM style plastic and the aftermarket aluminum. First impressions, I'm glad I bought this one because you can get these caps clocked at a different rotation depending on what vehicle it's going in. It seems like when I ordered this one online, I had to order it for an Explorer. For some reason, when I would look up the housing for a Ranger, it was clocked this way. It was going this way, and it only had one sensor. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, but I found one for an Explorer. As you can see, they're identical. The main benefits here, it doesn't leak, in between this seam here. That seems to be the most common on these plastic ones, is this seam all the way around. And these clip-in style coolant temp sensors. One's for the ECU, one's for the gauge. I don't know which one's which. They are essentially identical, as far as I can tell. Yeah. So I don't think it matters which one you plug into where. This happens to be a Dorman unit. It still leaks. This aluminum one looks very nice. A nice epoxy coolant nipple there. This, I would imagine, has some sort of epoxy holding it together. I can't quite tell. Guess we'll learn today. I'm going to take the thermostat out of this aluminum housing and use this Carcraft unit here, only because I don't trust, off-brand thermostats. I wish I could get a Stant, but it seems like nobody sells Stant anymore. So yeah, there you go. Virtually identical in almost every shape. So it should be a pretty easy replacement. And in fact, I'm noticing these sensors are a little further apart, but they look about the same distance from this hose here, which means I am going to have to try to do something about the clamp when I put it back together, because that was a bear to get to. And it has the O-ring, which goes here. Nothing fancy. And I'm going to be using Right Stuff to seal all of my surfaces. I'm going to put some around this area, where the thermostat housing seals to the cylinder head. You don't have to, but I'm paranoid. So let's get started with that. One thing I didn't show over there at the bench that I meant to was how these little clips come out. They're basically just, I guess you could call them horseshoe clips. I'm not sure exactly what the proper name is, but they just pull out like that. And then the sensor is just a slip fit. And this has an O-ring around it that I've actually put some Permatex on as well. There is an O-ring on the thermostat. It sits on top. There's a rim around the cap that will sandwich this down into the housing. Just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. Thing I'm going to do is put some anti-seize on those thermostat housing bolts that go into the cylinder head, because it's steel on aluminum, and I've seen some of them rust pretty badly and break off in there, so we're not going to have that problem. Just a skosh. That's a little much. That'll be fine. So now I put a little on the top side of the O-ring. You're looking at the bottom side of it right now. I put a little on the top side to prevent the O-ring from falling out as I attempt to place this back in the truck. all snug. Give it back. Okay, I've got to put a hose clamp on. Actually, I'm going to put these connectors on first. Again, they are literally the same, as you can see. They are the same type of sensor. I don't know why Ford just didn't combine them. Your guess is as good as mine. Come on, get in your home. Oh, come on. The smallest thing's always the thing that gets me. Uh-oh, why aren't you fitting? You look the same. Why for you no fit? Is it an offset plug? Surely they're not that specific. Are my sensors different? Oh, they are. Uh-oh. Well, I could see why now it's for an Explorer instead of a Ranger. Two different sensors. That is a problem. Well, I had to take it all apart because I'm a bit of a bonehead. This sensor has an offset locating pin. As you can see, this sensor, it's dead center. This one is offset. So I'm just going to have to grind this pin off. That's the only way around it. So I'm going to get to work on that. Should be able to just take a utility blade. And always remember, cut towards you. I'm kidding. Yeah, that ought to do it. If not, I always thought it would have. There's nothing quite like redoing all the work you just done. Hey, let's make sure this crap fits. Oh yeah, like a glove. Yep, now we're winning. I mean, I'm losing, but I'm still winning. Stay. All right, round 2, fight. bottom pass through, bottom, what you call it, bypass hose clamp tight, top bypass hose clamp tight. That one's tight, these are tight, thermostat's tight, sensors are on. Whew, man, that's gonna be fun. Well, that's what we're doing next. Set the throttle body right there. Okay. Ow. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I think we'll have to take some off of that intake somehow. I think I could get by with like a 1/16 of an inch. Maybe less. I don't know. Now, this will probably do nothing but just get oil all over me and not get the radiator hose on. Well, we've got a partial victory. I'll take that. Just take this clamp apart. All right. Well, you couldn't see any of that. I gotta blow all the leaves and seed shells out of my airbox. Pretty full. For now. Oh yeah, it didn't spill it. should be sufficient. Okay, well, I think the only thing to do is to fire it up and look for leaks. Nothing immediate. I'll check it when it's hot. But now my coolant sensor's maxed out to hot. That's unusual. My engine light still persists, which I expected that to be there because I didn't disconnect the battery. I wonder if I have to shut this thing off and switch the connectors. Let's find out. I switched the sensors around, the gauge works. I hope that doesn't mean the sensor going to the computer is reading full hot. But I guess I'll figure that out once I can get it looked at with a scanner that can read active data. But looks like it's coming up to temp, and we'll check for coolant leaks here in a second. Still a little cool. Housing's warm. Thermostat's probably just getting ready to open here soon. Well, thermostat's open. We're at temp. I don't see any coolant leaks anywhere. Well, I think we're good. At least I hope. I'm going to take this thing to my buddy's house probably the next few days and have him hook a snap-on scanner up to it, check the live data to make sure that the sensor that was not like the originals is not like reversed or something, causing it to read hot, because it sure seemed like it when I plugged it in to the other connector. I just hope that that's not affecting anything on the truck. If it is, well, I'll have to figure out where I can find a screw-in sensor. That's my main concern about this entire setup. You know, the original thermostat housing here has these push-in sensors, as I showed you earlier. I don't know where I'll be able to find screw-in sensors. I bought the one in the truck off of eBay, so maybe I can message them and ask them what part number I need to use. Awful strange. We'll see how it goes. Well, I think that's going to do it for today. I got to put some miles on that truck first. Get it down, get it scanned, check the live data, see if that brown sensor is flip-flopped from like the gray sensor. But if you stuck with me this far, hey, I appreciate it. And is the aluminum housing a miracle cure for the 4-liter Ford Rangers and Explorers? Your guess is as good as mine. The aluminum sure seems like it gives a good peace of mind, but I got to put a few more miles on this project first before I really make my mind up on it. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, and we'll work on something different next week. Thanks. See ya.